Hello, this is your resident editor. I would like to clarify that all of the footage being used in this video is from the remastered version of the game and not the 2007 version. However, I played the 2007 version, but I could not find any good footage for the 2007 version because I neglected to record it. But basically, yeah. I played the older one. Thank you, bye-bye.
So, I grew up in a Baptist church, and I swear that's relevant. Most conservative Christian sects tend to be pretty defensive toward violent video games, especially when it comes to exposing their children to them. Admittedly, that's a generalization, but that's the culture I grew up in. I used to have a friend named Michael when I was 8 or 9, and his dad let him play Call of Duty. Michael was the edgy yet good-hearted kid, and I was the fluffy ball of timidity who was afraid to say crap. I used to scold him for enjoying such violent content, and in an attempt to quell my worries, he'd claim that he only plays the game so he can look at the guns. I'm on to you, young man. Years passed, he moved away when I was 10, and I slowly became more and more comfortable with violent content in media. Which brings us to now. As of writing this, I have finally come full circle and completed Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare for the first time. Gosh, I genuinely didn't realize how pseudo-poetic that is. Michael, if you're somehow watching this, hit me up. I need to confirm that you're actually real and not just my lonely child brain manifesting a friend. Anyway, COD 4 is on most accounts good. Dude, I don't know what I'm supposed to add to the conversation around Call of Duty. I'm not experienced with military shooters. The closest I've gotten to consistently being a shooter fan was Halo. Modern Warfare is the first installment in the series that takes place in the modern world, to my knowledge, which is an interesting, if not risky, approach. Each mission actively continues the plot. Wait, did I just write that? Each level continues the plot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a shooter. That's about it. It's a good shooter. It has solid mechanics, good graphics for the era, and enjoyable sequences. What the heck can I even add to a conversation about the most vanilla default type of video game? Okay, well, at the least, I was very intrigued by a lot of the narrative choices the game employed. I appreciated the assorted war-based quotes from famous individuals that appear whenever you die. I quite enjoy whenever the game attempts to make you question whether or not you're actually the good guys, or at the least whether or not it's virtuous to take pleasure in your enemy's demise. There is a very good level in which you're bombing your adversaries from above, and they appear as tiny little ants running around the battlefield. And whenever you land a hit, your comrades will crack jokes or howl in satisfaction, and frankly, it makes the player uncomfortable. Most of those playing Call of Duty have likely never experienced the horrors of warfare, such as myself. So it's very intelligent writing to make them feel guilty or uncomfortable as their teammates seem to have no quarrel with taking their enemies' lives. That is, if you're someone like me. I have a problem where I'll neurotically philosophize about... Philosophize? I think that's it. About literally everything I do in my day-to-day life, and that applies to video games especially. I dislike playing games to let my aggression out or simply to live out a fantasy of having control over my own life. Why I'm enjoying a game is very important to me. Am I playing Call of Duty for the narrative experience, to truly feel like I'm out there, learning to be a tactical warrior on the battlefield and getting a glimpse into the world of war? Or am I playing it because I have an insatiable urge to blow someone's brains out? Now, I'm not saying that those who want to explode virtual skulls are necessarily objectively wrong for it, but it's not exactly why I appreciate violence in video games. I much prefer when violence is used as a device to make the player feel something real rather than be trivialized. With that being said, Call of Duty does an excellent job at exciting the player by forcing them to think tactically and train their reaction time without needlessly glorifying war or violence. Moral ambiguity is brought up in certain scenarios, granted, not as much as I wish it was, but it's there. Ultimately, Modern Warfare's story, while basic, is an excellent glimpse into a world that most of us have never experienced. You may have noticed that I didn't mention any of the characters, and that's because there are none. Well, that's not true. You do consistently play each mission with a squad. You get to learn their voices, their names, their mannerisms, and you even play as one of them in a flashback sequence, but frankly, the writers don't make you care about your friends. And when one or two of them eventually die, you're shocked because a human life was just taken, but it rarely goes beyond that. I want to feel something because someone I care about is in distress, and COD 4 does an extremely average job of making you feel anything in regards to the supporting cast. The mission gameplay does tend to drag on every once in a while, which is impressive for a 7-hour game, but it never gets too bad. I just don't think I'm a big fan of linear shooter games. They're not really my cup of tea. Sure, I'll pop one on and have fun with it, but I'll likely never touch it again. And good luck getting me to consistently enjoy the multiplayer. The game was good, very good, but it doesn't exceed good. I'm sure it was closer to great for its time, but in the face of the modern industry, and especially the rising creativity displayed in newer shooters that desire to evolve the genre, COD 4 is an enjoyable experience that'll leave you with some pretty cool core memories when it comes to action sequences. I wonder if Michael is still a COD fan. If I ever return to Call of Duty, it will likely be if we miraculously meet again and need something to bond over.